introduce to you tonight our keynote speaker. Forward thinker and class act, she is the prototype for professionalism. Her and I met just about 10 years ago, and we were new students in medical school, where we were entering into this high-paced, very intensive world of science and the mind. Oh, with fun. And oh, how our journeys, collective and individual, have taken us to new heights and new levels beyond our imagination, beyond creative expression, towards something even greater than ourselves, in the service of humanity. She has truly become a confidant, trusted co-laborer, and sister in Christ, mentor, and close friend. She is a graduate of Princeton University, where she studied in the neurosciences. She has been to Duke Medical School, where she got her MD degree, and is now one of the most dynamic faith leaders to walk the face of this earth. When you hear her speak, you will know what I mean. To list her many accomplishments and attributes so early in her career would require volumes, but suffice it to say, she embodies what leadership is and ought to be. She is presidential in thought and will no doubt be on the national and international stage of health policy, management, and public service. Her scholarly aptitude and personability makes her what I like to call a compassionate leader, and that is something we so desperately need in our global society today. So I encourage you to take part in her message, to be inspired tonight, and to be changed. And with that, I introduce to you Dr. Chris T. Pernell.
Good evening. It is with sincere earnest and honor that I stand before you this evening at the invitation of the Owen Foundation, an organization which is truly a social gem in the midst of great and palpable need. First, I must thank the board members and the support staff who made this appointed, yes, an appointed gathering possible. Second, I thank those of you who are assembled here tonight. Yes, I thank you, because you have co-labored in some form or fashion to make spirit, soul activism a priority. For charitable work such as Owen's and like philanthropic institutions are emphatically as stated, spirit and soul activism. Or as a good friend and colleague who so graciously blessed me loves to say, it is an investment in human infrastructure. Lastly, I must take a moment and salute, pay tribute to the prestigious family, the Asanova family, who has made this evening a possibility. They are a tour de force of inventive, innovative, anointed, appointed thinkers and doers. And I would be remiss if I did not single out the matriarch who helms this family, Dr. Lillian Asanova. Tonight, I stand before you humbled and available. I speak of availability because all too often in society, there is pressing needs surrounding us, but we can become desensitized, consumed, even tolerant because of the freneticism of our own lives. We become tolerant when lack does not seemingly invade our backyard. At other times, we are challenged. Yes, challenged to crawl out of our respective boxes and to peer into the soul of another life. To look at a life, maybe one perhaps thousands of miles away, but a life nonetheless. A life whose crises are begging, asking, pleading for a solution. When I speak of availability, being available implies an awareness outside of, but not an exclusion of self. It implies, moreover, an openness, actually being present in the moment and in consensus that a hardship or hurt exists. It is imperative that we translate availability into readiness and readiness into solutions. But what of solutions when the novelty wears off or when the resources become constrained? How do we perpetuate, how do we memorialize this commitment into long-standing action, a very lifestyle? Thankfully, I've learned much in my young life, and yes, I'm a little bit older than you think. But admittedly, there is still much to know. What I have gleaned from my work as both a physician leader and a faith citizen is that true leadership is being called upon to fill a vacancy. And then by way of mastery, to attract others with diverse knowledge bases and varied resources, who in tow are compelled to list yet another, and then another, until we all cascade one into another, blurring the distinctions of proprietorship and weaving a consortium of interconnected souls, yes, souls imbued with hope, yes, souls armed with expertise, yes, souls in promotion of new ideas. It is the power of one. I'm going to say that again for you. It is the power of one. One story may shame us, or one story may disrupt our peace, but one story can motivate. One story can propel us forward. One story can birth a movement of souls with a common purpose, with a common mission, in the service of our nation and in the service of all nations. While at my alma mater at Princeton University, I was dared to believe that where there was a perceived vacancy, I could enunciate it, and then leap headfirst into crafting new ideas, able to solve it. And this has become the bedrock of my person. This is the bedrock of the persons gathered here tonight. This is the bedrock of the woman who started this foundation. And this is the bedrock that has been sown in her children. As for me, I vow to dedicate my energies defining solvability, raising social, financial, and political capital in those who are disenfranchised and underserved. We are at a unique moment in our nation's history, moreover, a unique moment in world history. And we are in desperate need of individual and mutual ingenuity to face and stare down economic downturn, to face and stare down the healthcare crisis, to face and stare down crumbling educational systems, public health vices at home and abroad, and unchecked environmental abuses. But I know with a confidence that yes, we can, and yes, we must. We must fill the void. We must make a difference. I recall the life of Guido-san, a fellow student and acquaintance while in college, a possessed man. Guido and I, we didn't travel in the same circles, but he was cordial, he was inviting, always willing to discourse about the trivialities, or better yet, the complexities of life, those things asking to be solved.